All right. All right. Relax. I know you mad. I got a blazer. It's plaid. And I got a pen. It's fine. But anyway, before I even get into that, hold on. I was raised very well. My mama, my daddy, my grandpa TK raised me better. Where are my manners? It's the six past commandments. Six paths dice here. Mr. Lane, if you need me. We are here, Six Paths TV, beloved. But we're going to go ahead and continue to break down everything through my six paths of health, which is mental, physical, spiritual, financial, emotional, social, creative, romantic. That might not be six, but you get it. You get the concept, right? The purpose of this channel is to help you to improve your communication. All right, because if I can improve your communication, the same voice you think with is the same voice you talk with. The same logic you think with, same logic you talk with. If I get you to communicate better, I can get you to think more clearly. You know what I mean? And also, if I get you to think more clearly, I can improve your relationships to people, places, and things. And the main point of this channel is to help y'all grow the hell up. And who do we have today that needs to grow up? Shout out to the beloved sis. Amanda Sills, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had sound effects, but I got no sound effects. All I got is my heart. I got crazy heart. Okay? I got crazy heart. All I got for y'all. But so what I want to start doing, because I feel like these Club Shay interviews, super important. Shannon Sharp is showing that he's an excellent content creator. Excellent interviewer, because he's having amazing interviews with people that I would never want to hear from or even care about hearing from. I don't know if Amanda Sills has a lot of interviews out there. I don't know if she has any that they're going to be as big as this one right here. Pause. If you need to. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get this stream done while I wait for my dude to bring through my package. You know what I'm saying? I'm still old school. I don't put everything out there. I'll leave some things to the imagination. You understand? You know what I should have been doing this whole time? I didn't even realize that I had the buttons right here. So I'm gonna take this time and be transparent, because I'm not afraid for you guys to know who I really am and what I'm about. Okay? Because I wish I had the six pass when I was a young nigga. That's a way better collar, and I feel way better about what I have to do today. So I heard Angry Man break down this clip. It's a particular part where Amanda Sills. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and give a little background. Amanda Sills is an artist. She sings, raps. She's mostly known for her role on Insecure in terms of what people would know her for. Or if you want to say she was in this or she does this, you would say she's one of the people that's on Insecure. And ironically, she's quite insecure. But anyway, I think I want to preface everything I say by saying first that Amanda is obviously a talented person, okay? But she is also a raging narcissist. She may not mean to be a raging narcissist, but she's a raging narcissist, all right? What you're going to see, this has always been a thing, but you're always going to see is, and most things she does is for attention, all right? And one of the reasons why I say she's a narcissist, and I know this because from my own personal experience as well as how it's defined, and again, it's always rooted in low self-awareness and the inability to see or understand how you come across to other people, how you make other people feel, all right? And you usually alienate other people. Now, don't get me wrong, a narcissist can also still be a very talented person, can still be a genius, right? And I've been trying to decide whether or not should I call, is she a case of wasted talent? I don't know. But what I will say is that her behavior is not unique. It's not specific to her. This is the kind of behavior that if you're a black guy, you've experienced, this black woman or women in general who tell story basically in so many words. They try to bully everyone into thinking like them and controlling how other people feel. A lot of people don't pick up on women like to control how other people feel. Men may kind of, for the most part, want you to go in a certain direction, and men have to check that kind of stuff sometimes, right? Because you have to realize, you can't control how people think and feel. You know what I mean? Leadership is always supposed to be for a particular point. Whereas, don't get me wrong, too much leadership or too much, you could be over managing, or you could be basically treading on somebody. You could be, in a way, I don't want to say violating, but I mean, so many words, you're overstepping your boundaries, right? In this case right here, what you see she does a lot of is she's going to tell stories in a way where you have to feel how she wants you to feel about it. She is going to give you a background on the story, use certain words to keep you on her side. That is a narcissistic mindset, is when you do not even want the people around you to have their own thoughts. You want them to think how you want them to think. All right. And you're going to see this part of this interview where she basically, when Shannon is not behaving or responding how she wants him to respond, she basically checks him. And this is how women can bully other men and women. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just play some of it. So you have a background. She basically tells a story about how she got, and I don't know the entire story, but I just want to hear how she interacts with Shannon when he tries to kind of get her to expand on this subject. He's just trying to interview her and trying to get her to expand on the subject and get her to talk a little more. And she kind of gets a little agitated and asks him a question where it's like there's really no right answer. You know what I mean? It's like she's not, again, that's what I mean by masterclass and manipulation. All right. So anywho, I'm gonna let you guys look at it and you guys can tell me what you think. All right. Another thing I'm gonna say too is y'all better enjoy me playing clips entire where you can see the people talking and their mouth moving and stuff like that. Because once this channel start picking up steam, you're gonna be getting that overlay. You're gonna be seeing a picture. Bless you. You're gonna be seeing a picture, and you want to hear the audio in the background. I'm not getting nothing flagged. I need this channel to make some money. I gotta feed these babies. All right. All right, man, let's get it.
You want to talk about it?
No. Emma, we're gonna talk about it later. So let me ask you this. So there were a lot of parent-teacher conferences with you, huh?
Yes, but not for what do you think they were about?
Your excessive talking, maybe the doodling.
Funnily enough, no. You know what the parent-teacher conferences were about?
What?
Amanda is sticking up for other kids in the class. Amanda is correcting me. Like I had a teacher, Miss Schwenk, who called a conference because she was talking about Aboriginal art. Mm-hmm. And she said that she stood in front of the class and said, that the Aborigines are a Stone Age people. And I was like, ma'am, there are Aboriginals alive right now. Like they are a part of civilization. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well,
my bad, y'all. I had to step away for a quick second. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again, guys. Sorry about that, guys.
And said, that the Aborigines are a Stone Age people. And I was like, ma'am, there are Aboriginals alive right now. Like they are a part of civilization. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, no, what I mean is that they've never advanced. And we're in a classroom in Orlando, Florida. So like, if we don't check this type of stuff, it's going to just continue. So I was that student. Like I was the kid who was always raising my hand and just wasn't easily appeased by simply just someone being an authority. And I love this because when she called my mom and said, I'd like to set a conference up because I have some complaints about Amanda. My mom said, well, that's interesting because Amanda has some complaints about you. And so they came to the meeting. It was my mom and Mr. Wright and Miss Cersei. It's all Black people at Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. And this lady sat there and actually you and Mr. Wright had the same build. And Mr. Wright was like, all right, so we're here to discuss Amanda disrupting the class with her talking. And she was like, no, Amanda doesn't disrupt the class with her talking. She actually helps the other students out. He's like, oh, okay. So is it about her grades? And she's like, actually, no. One of her art pieces is featured in our exhibit at the library. And he's like, so what are we here for? And she's like, well, she corrects me in front of the class. And these three Black people are like, here we go with this racist bullshit, because that's really what it is. We're in Florida in the 80s and the 90s. And
but let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think she would have felt equally as offended if a white kid, because I'm assuming this teacher was white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, Shannon is trying to vibe with her a little bit. This isn't really a thing that he want to talk about. Further, and again, no one's saying the subject of racism is not important or it shouldn't be spoken about. It's just that at this point we're beating a dead horse. It's like, okay, we know. Now let's go do some work. Okay, let's go ahead and work on this. We got to go ahead and get some power, because that's how we fight racism. But also, too, I'm gonna play it in a quick second. I was talking to my homeboy about this. The guy who cuts my grass. You see what I did there? Anywho, Amanda Seales and the constant, you're gonna hear her talk about racism so many times. Anytime she's being interviewed, it's always, even when, like, she says other Black people are racist towards her. But anywho, the subject, the Black Lives Matterisms, all that type of stuff, it represents so-called female leadership in how women think. Okay, in terms of how we problem solve, women are more likely to want to talk about something and complain about it. The masculine approach is what is the solution and what is the action to take. That's one of the issues of jading every conversation towards race. And not only that, again, she's already jading you towards her point of view and make you see the person that whoever it is, she wants to be seen as a villain. She's already telling a story in a way where you had to say, man, that's effed up, or man, that's not cool, or man, or that person was wrong, and she's right. Because in every story, she's always right. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue this little cook here.
If a white child would have corrected her, I think most teachers would feel some type of way if a child corrects them.
That's not for me to surmise. I'm just saying that my experience was this lady giving wrong information.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to correct it. Now, this is the same lady who tried to accuse me of stealing. And when a white girl said, no, Amanda didn't steal it, I did, she was like, well, I think both of you need to go to the principal.
Right.
I'm in Orlando, Florida, which is a notoriously racist state, Florida, in the 90s. And I'm talking to you about a white woman who is speaking about Black people, indigenous people in a country where those same indigenous people have had all of their land taken from them by former criminals that were sent there from England. And she is calling them Stone Age people. And I, as a Black girl, the only Black girl in her class, am correcting her.
But my thing is, you're right. She possibly misspoke, or she didn't know.
I guess my question to you is, why do you even feel compelled at this juncture in this interview? Why would you even feel compelled to try to?
Because I'm not defending, but my thing is that what I'm trying to say, most adults, when kids correct them or speak, feel some type of way. This is not unique to a Black, white, or white, Black. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you took it that way. But I remember when I was growing up, my grandparents and parents said, hey, kids, stay in your place. Adults are speaking. That's all. Maybe that didn't happen where you were from in Orlando, Florida. But where I grew up, when I grew up, kids did not correct adults.
You see, look at her eyes. So you saw that look at her eyes? Yo. Trying to tell you, a master. You imagine being in a relationship where you imagine trying to get her to fry some chicken. She going, man, you know what? I would like to be her man for a week just so I can record myself trying to get her to do simple things. I just want to hear what would be her defense for not frying that chicken. All right. This is the woman right here who will this is the kind of woman who will, again, she'll, in the very beginning, let me tell you something. Girl like this right here, she gonna try to rock your world that first time. She gonna be real charming and daring, because people who are creative can also be very good with compliments and very good at saying things that make you feel good. And if you don't know how to read people and look at someone's eyes and really pick up on this conversation, basically natural conversation, you'll fall for a hook, line, and sinker. You know what I mean? But this is the kind of person that, if you're in a relationship with them or you have a friendship with them, they're always going to put the work on you. It's always your job. It's always your fault. Now, what Shannon just said, she knows what he's talking about. It's just that she's not that kind of person. Now, she's leaving out several parts of the story. Don't get me wrong. If that's what the teacher said, you're right. She is incorrect. But also, young lady, you are not the teacher. If this is someone who does not do any, Amanda Seals in particular, if you are someone that does no self-correction, I very much doubt in any station in life, any part of life, whether she became a teacher or just dealing with kids or whatever, you would not take kindly to you being the adults in the room, the authority figure in the room, and having someone try to embarrass you. And you know that Amanda was not the kind of young lady that said things in a way that was poised, had timing. Also, get young. You don't really know how to have timing. You don't really know how to have tact and things like that, or know how to approach it. She definitely did it in a way that was probably very embarrassing to the teacher. And the point the teacher probably was making was that she probably was asked to stop and to not do that as much. And again, the way she tells the story, I don't think that what she necessarily, again, her chiming in was not necessarily wrong, but obviously it was an ongoing behavior to where it was inappropriate. And it is inappropriate, you know what I mean, for the students to be constantly trying to embarrass or one-up the teacher. All right. This is a good example of never outshine the master. And also, I'm going to take it a step further so that we really get the full lesson here. Just because you can't doesn't mean you should. Let that sink in for a second. Just because you can't doesn't mean you should. When someone has a different station than you, when someone is the authority, I'm not saying that you never say anything to them, but you also got to be able to think far enough to say what was the end goal. Another issue with how Amanda moves, this is why I feel like this is wasted talent, is because she has terrible followership. Again, also going back to the ego, people who are very smart in general usually have huge egos where they always want the attention of showing everyone how great they can be, how smart they are, and it doesn't matter at whose expense it is. She was doing this, and she knew at that young age the power dynamic. I'm challenging the power dynamic. Don't get me wrong, I F with it. You know what I mean? I wasn't necessarily the kind of kid that would challenge the teacher, but I understand the creative's mindset because my mind was very different. I didn't really have an academic mind. You know what I mean? I had more of a creative mind, and we didn't have all these things we have now where you can sit online all day and learn about the thing you like all day long. Even when I talk about content to other people, to them it's like I sound like some kind of savant. Like my coworker could be like, "Yo, like you got this all figured out." And I'm like, "Damn, I guess you're right," because I've spent mad time learning about just content, just what makes content, right? But anyway, going back to my other point, the disingenuous argument. I'm gonna reiterate again. She understands that other kids don't do that. This is also like rebelliousness is also a byproduct of creativity. You know what I mean? So imagination, or imagine you say imagination and creativity is the same thing. But paranoia, all those things are the same thing. All right, because paranoia is you creating other scenarios or possible scenarios that have not happened yet to the point where you believe them. Right. Your creativity is creating new things. Your imagination is your creativity. You know what I'm saying? But also another part of creativity is also how you approach things and how you think about things. So the creative mind has no choice but to always think about, well, I know y'all do this, but I'm going to do this, which I get it. But she tells that she not just telling the story of saying, hey, she didn't just tell the story and say, hey, listen, I was a bit of a handful. I was a very intelligent child and whatnot, and I was the kind of child that would do X, Y, and Z. No, she told the story as if this is all about the racial dynamic. This is all about she puts these things. She always puts, no matter what story she tells, it always comes back to her being black, or it's about her being black, and I don't think it's because she necessarily feels as though that was the problem. It's just more so that she understands that I'm going to get you on my side with the story if I can include that. All right. But also, I want to take it a step further with how she handled Shannon. When she posed the question back, why do you feel compelled to defend this woman? And he wasn't defending her. He really was just trying to make conversation. But that is a great example of again, social manipulation, the skullduggery of it all. Men do not relate to that, which is why men don't get as offended. There's definitely been times where you hear women talk about other women, and you like, God, dog, it's not that serious. Relax, unbunch your panties, right? And it's hard to understand because, again, women are so deep in manipulating people in the world and whatnot. They won't even take time to tell young men, hey, women do X, Y, and Z. This is how women think, and this is how women move. You know what I'm saying? Not to the extent that we try to protect, at least try to protect the girls. The girls still do what they want anyway, and things still happen. Even if it's bad information, it's still girls get more of a talking to about this kind of guy is a bad guy. This guy's a bad guy. At least one thing we do is that if someone's been to jail, there are certain stigmas that allow a woman to at least, for the most part, she's at least been told this kind of guy is a bad guy. The woman at least knows, hey, if he's violent, hey, probably a bad dude. If he's been to jail a few times, probably a bad dude. If he got kids he don't take care of, probably a bad dude. He got kids by a lot of different women, probably a bad dude. If he don't work, probably a bad. It's so many different things that women are made aware of before they choose the man they choose, and they'll still choose a man that can't work. Choose a man that has severe emotional issues. They'll still choose all these different things. Whereas like men, for the most part, have to learn the hard way that this kind of woman ain't no good. Men have to experience it. There is no one telling you that. I mean, you hear about crazy, but your mother is not growing up. You're not growing up with your mother saying, "Stay away from a woman who does X, Y, and Z. Stay away from a woman who won't do certain things for you." Again, most men I know did not grow up with their mother telling you, "Do not date this kind of woman. Don't date that kind of woman." Most of us don't experience that. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and play a little more, and I'm gonna come right back to you. All right.
So I apologize if you thought it came off as combative.
No problem.
Even with that, right? Her performance in conversation is again, it's a fucking masterclass. The body language, the facial expression. You know what I mean? Because what she's trying to do is plant seeds of doubt in you. You know what I'm saying? And what the narcissist always wants to do is they always want to get you to apologize or get you to not feel however you feel and to always invalidate whatever it is you're saying to them because they cannot be wrong. But anywho.
Let's get into your acting. You've been at this game for a long time. You started in 1993 as a child actor. Was that something that you always wanted to do?
Not that I always wanted to do. I mean, I started dance very, very young. In 1989, I was on Disney.
Okay.
Well, no, I was sorry. In 1989, I went to an audition for Disney
Okay.
Because they had something called the Sparkling Christmas Spectacular at Disney World in Orlando. And my mom was like, I think you should go and audition. So I went and auditioned and I made it, which I was not expecting to do. It was like 1,500 kids dancing and I made it. And I'm like, okay. And even though you're going to probably have an issue with this, they were racist. So when I was at Disney,
Yes,
and I was in the situation at Disney,
No.
I was there as the only Black girl.
Okay.
And there was a whole crew. It's like 12 of us. And so I was called an N-word right there while I was there. And I was also bullied while I was there because I was told that you're only here because you're Black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're Black. So don't get any ideas. So that's what I'm being told by the other children. Does that suffice as racist to you, or would you want to call it something else? Is that just kids being mean?
the kids. So let me ask you a question. As a child, you never said anything derogatory? You was just this model citizen as a child? I mean, children. Now, we're talking children, not functioning adults. Now, if you told me adults, parents were telling you this, or the execs or people that are in charge of Disney are telling you this, I could agree with it. But at 89, you're probably 8, 9 years of age. Maybe younger.
So you have no problem with the children that were cursing out Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine? You think do you think that was just them being kids?
Two things can be true. Kids can be kids and not function as an adult, and things can be wrong. And sometimes when kids say things, they're repeating what they heard their parents say. They don't know it's wrong.
So what about the children who are receiving it that know it's wrong? Does that not matter?
Yes.
So if I'm 10 and I'm receiving that treatment and I know it's wrong, does it make my experience of it less?
It doesn't make it any less valid. No.
So that's what we're here to talk about. My experience.
Yes.
So my experience is that I experienced that and it was difficult. So that's the valid part of this. I'm not here to protect those people because it's irrelevant to the conversation. So when I'm talking about me being on this,
ma'am. This man just asked you to detail the beginning of your career. He asking for the events. Every story this girl tells, you a victim in every daggone story. Goodness, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but I'm like, we're not hitting. She just asked you how you got started. How you go all the way to the very worst part of it? The guy, when you tell someone about your career, right? If someone asks you tell a story, don't, especially when they ask you just to answer a question and not asking you to give a long-winded explanation. You see how she led with every story she tells. She puts herself into the victim, to the place of the victim, and has you thinking a certain way already before you can get a word out. It's crazy. All right, man. It's getting late, man. All right, we're gonna stop there, man. It's a great interview. I was saying to my man outside, yo, the guy who cuts my grass. About like, yo, like I said, I think I might have said this earlier about how Shannon Sharpe is really giving us a masterclass on just conversation. It's so many different things about this channel, and when he does these things when he does his interviews, is that he is so many different things about him that's so unique and relatable and easy to listen to and easy to get into. You know what I'm saying? Everything is carefully curated. I mean, I see you, Shannon. I see your outfits, beloved. You know what it is? I think I like Shannon Sharpe's wardrobe because like he wear like big man clothes. You know what I mean? So I'm a big guy too. So and like there's a lot of stuff that I think is fly. Listen, here's an old nigga. You know what I'm saying? And, I ain't that old. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I guess I relate to it. But I'm just looking at his even wardrobe, his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? The glasses, the haircut, just everything, right? And just really on point. But the most interesting thing is when someone can make someone or something that's not interesting. Because I swear, let me tell you, I would not have watched the Amanda Seales interview in its entirety nowhere else. I actually shot the Angry Man. He got me listening to this. And I wanted to also touch on, I think I'm touching on this maybe tomorrow. I'm going to do something tomorrow morning. I'm gonna try to start getting with y'all early in the morning on the weekend. I've been saying like y'all need to start doing like 6 hours of content every weekend to make up for anything I'm not doing. So I need to probably like 3 hours in the during the day, and then to do like 3 hours or Saturday and Sunday at some point. And at least I got enough stuff like cut up, so y'all get more content, man. But anywho, fair use. YouTube, don't trip. Again, right now we at less than 2,000 subs right now. So please enjoy seeing the things I react to as far as the clips go. You know what I mean? Because we don't, I don't know if they're gonna start tripping. You know what I mean? So anywho, please like, share, and subscribe, man. Thank you guys so much, man. If you made it to the end of the video. Everyone that's here with me on this journey, man. Listen, you deserve to get some mission in your life, man. Find your mission, because that mission is what's going to tie everything together, and that mission is what's going to keep you going. I'm glad I stayed with the content. I'm glad I stayed doing this. I'm glad I'm here now, and it means so much to me. You know what I mean? To see that my videos are getting views. It means so much to see people arguing in the comments and telling me that I'm making clickbait. It means so much. And also, my podcast is not stupid, uncle. Nigga hate. My podcast ain't stupid. It's not even a podcast. Yo, Gen Xer. Anywho, I appreciate all y'all, man. That's what y'all got. And I just want to keep, sharing this journey with y'all. And I'm happy to be here, man. You know what I mean? Here's the more Blazers and more creatine. It's for you. Could have made it without you. All right, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, man. I'm going to see y'all